Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to Monkey in the Morning. I am your host, the Ranting Monkey. He is Jack. Say hi, Jack.
Hi, everybody.
Jack, how are you tonight?
Yeah, I'm all right. How you doing?
Man, the changing weather here in Michigan, this sinus thing, I can't use that nose spray anymore, which was helping with all that stuff. I got to find another remedy for that. But other than that, I'm pretty well, actually.
Oh, good.
Go get my eye checked out today, finally get an answer on that. So that I'm at least there'll be some kind of relief there, right?
Yeah, good.
Not knowing, I haven't been able to see out of this eye properly for over a month now. And I get an answer hopefully today. That or they'll stick me in an MRI machine to find out how bad it is, which is I'm expecting is what's going to happen anyway.
They might do it just to cover their ass. So,
but yeah, I'm all right, pretty good. And Jack, something happened that has never happened or that I've never seen happen before.
What's that?
I was reading the comments to yesterday's true crime thing, which, by the way, apparently putting true crime in there really does work. We got called A-logs. We're A-logs because we were making potato jokes. You A-logs making potato jokes.
But you ducked out a little bit there. We got called A-logs what?
A-logs because of making potato jokes.
Okay, just for the benefit of the non-nerds in the chat, you probably should define A-log for everybody.
Well, I went to look up what A-log means, and I couldn't find a definitive definition.
My understanding is it means I don't like you, you're old.
Yeah, I mean, I guess that kind of goes with some of the definitions I saw. Somebody who's just mean to one person because they don't like them. What was the other one I saw? People who are just, and basically comes down to you being mean to someone. But a couple of things real quick before we move along and I forget. Thank you, Retro says, talk me to sleep, monkey. Spud recommended that I ask for belly, that says belt rubs, but it's belly rubs. 2, I don't do belly rubs, sorry. And John Fetterman's potato. Thank you so much. Hey, that JF guy on the last show was speaking my language. He seems like he has some problems, though. Don't worry, I can fix him. Do you think he likes to go camping?
Wow.
Yeah, just a couple of updates on that. JF still won't shut his fucking mouth. And it turns out, Jack, that's just because he has a high IQ.
Yes. We'll go with that story.
In a comment to him not shutting the hell up, somebody's like, dude, get a lawyer and shut the hell up. And he says, that's the kind of advice they give low IQ people who actually did it, not to 130 to 140 IQ people who document their whole life, not who didn't do it. Notice that part?
Yeah, well, that's a bit weird to say. What?
Yeah, he says, and that is almost exactly what he said. I would pull it up, but I just don't care that much. You guys can go look it up. Jean-Francois Garapi on Twitter, but that's what he says. That's what they tell people who are guilty or who did it, not 130 to 140 IQ people who document their whole life. Oh. Not 130 to 140 people who didn't do it. Now, in the comments on yesterday's video, Jack, a couple of people mentioned, he is French speaking first, and one suggested that, hey, maybe that's part of the issue, is that how non-native English speaking people, when they go to say something, it's actually they think about it in their original language first, so it can come off weird. The problem is a lot of the things we had a problem with was like the use of past tense.
Yeah.
They have present tense in French. I'm almost positive of it.
Yes, and French is a root language from German or from Latin, despite what Rome Girl thinks. So we have English, which is the root languages are Latin and German. So we share a common ancestry of language. It's not that difficult. Both languages have been around for a very long time. So it's kind of weird, especially because Canada is bilingual. It's kind of weird that he kept using these odd turns of phrase, like past tense stuff.
Or saying things like, I dropped her off right in front of a camera alive.
Yeah. Yeah, that's a weird thing to say. The entire thing that we went over, you could pretty much grab any random section and play that Simpsons clip of Bart saying, "What an odd thing to say."
Yeah, yeah. If he didn't do it, and I'm still willing to give him the benefit of the doubt for the moment, Jack. If he didn't, he is 100% making it look like he did. Everything that he said just sounds like he's guilty. He put out this really long post where he's like, you guys are all being mean to me, basically. And then he says this, you guys would be mad if I forced her to stay here. Nobody suggested you forcing her to stay there. What the hell are you talking about? And it's stuff like that that just makes him look guilty. He's making a straw man argument and beating it down. Yeah, you're right.
Uh,
If you locked her in a dungeon and we found out, we'd all be like, yeah, that's fucked up. But nobody's suggesting you do that. How about this? How about don't go on a 3-day hiatus when she disappears to, quote, sanitize your house and replace plaster? I mean, that's not just a language barrier thing there.
no, that's a crime scene thing.
Yeah. And look, there might be a couple of things where it was a language issue.
Oh, sure.
But 99% of that was not. It's just him trying to look as guilty as possible. It's so weird.
Yeah, he's about doing the linguistic version of walking out covered in blood, carrying a knife, going, "What's the problem, officers?"
Yes. Yes. Now, speaking of guilty as hell and not shutting the fuck up, Lindsey Hill gave several interviews to The Blaze. She went on Alex Stein's show.
Yep.
And then on Sarah Gonzalez's show.
Yeah.
Now, for those who don't remember, Lindsey Hill is the woman that accused Trevor Bauer. We talked about this. Oh, and I need to make a correction because I said he didn't suffer any consequences. In the stories I'd read, I missed it, but he did get suspended. That is why he was playing in Japan.
Yeah. Yeah.
And the suspension is basically over now, but still nobody's touching him.
Well, yeah, he's still a hot potato. He's got a ruined career. I mean, this is definitely going to damage him professionally for a long, long time.
And it sucks too because he was a Cy Young Award winner. That I know you don't follow sports, but for pitchers, that is like best pitcher of the year here. And it's right after that she pulls her shit. But we're gonna have to talk about her thing because it's funny to me that this idiot just doesn't shut up and go away. She's out there to prove her case. And I have a feeling, Jack, it's so that she can monetize it.
Oh, of course. Of course. She's a pull mattress girl. Just watch.
So I thought we would watch the video, Jack.
Uh-oh.
And yeah. It's a 16-minute video, so this is going to take up the next hour and a half of your life, guys. That's not true. I'm going to try to get through this one a little faster. Mostly because I don't like this woman. She's a really horrible person. And I love Sarah Gonzalez that she named this video taking down a Me Too fraud.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, there's a full she had a whole show. This is just part of her normal show, but when she cut out the 16-minute video here, taking down a Me Too fraud. How fucking great is that?
Well, this woman clearly had no idea who Sarah Gonzalez was.
Well, look at Sarah's face just at the start of this. She's like, I gotta talk to this bitch. I love that face. That is wonderful.
I know that look from women well.
It is weird to me that this chick went on to 2 shows on The Blaze.
Yeah.
Who is her PR department?
Probably somebody that hates her.
She should have went to if she was, actually smart, she would have went on something like MSNBC, maybe over to CNN. She could have got a lot bigger coverage. They would have sucked her butt. Oh God, she could have got onto MSNBC if she ran over there. Hey, you guys want to hear my story? 100% they'd have put her on. You'd have had that little gay woman.
MITAM?
No.
Chris Hayes?
Chris Hayes, thank you.
Yeah.
He would have been all over that shit. Can you believe what they did?
Now, this expression right here, I know this one very well. This is the, why are you like this?
Yes. Before we begin, just a reminder, we're brought to you by you. We're monetized as well, Jack. Hit that like button, hit the share button if you would. Please consider donating to Jack or myself. Link is in your chat. It is also in the description for the videos. All right, Jack. Sarah's going to talk. Now, I will say this. It bothers me throughout this whole thing that when they do the split screen to show her and the other chick's camera is tilted up a little bit, so it looks like she's sitting way down below Sarah, and it bothers me. I'm just getting that out of the way now.
Is it one of those where it's angled so that it's looking up her nose the whole time?
No, not really. I think she might actually just be sitting in a very low seat, and it's not actually angled up. It's just above her head, and she should have got a taller chair. But anyway, she has taken the nose ring out.
I would hope so.
Yeah. All right, make sure volume's all the way up. Here we go.
Yesterday, we discussed the conclusion of former Major League Baseball player Trevor Bauer's lawsuit stemming from an alleged sexual assault and Bauer's recent video in which he released his side of the story with receipts.
This is something else that we didn't talk about before, and it kind of it does come up later, but kind of glossed over. It's not a sexual assault. It's two different incidents. She gets sexually assaulted by the guy and then goes and meets up with him again for a second round of sexual assault. Her explanation for it is fucking mind-blowing. All right, here we go.
Joining me now to discuss that is Bauer's accuser herself, Lindsey Hill. Lindsey, I mentioned Bauer's video in which he provided some receipts that, I'm going to be honest with you, make you look like a clout chaser, or I know some people are calling you a cleat chaser because admittedly you were chasing after several high-profile, wealthy baseball players. Trevor says everything was completely consensual. He also released these text messages that came out in court indicating that you had planned the whole thing out. So I want to read some.
I just want to give Sarah credit here because she does not gloss that over at all.
No.
People calling you a cleat chaser. Oh, wow. Which, by the way, she is. She's like a puck bunny, or there is a group of women. It's almost like, rock star groupies. These women who want to hook up with professional athletes to live the life.
Oh yeah, the buckle bunnies do the rodeo circuit. You get the chicks that are into cops and firemen, and
oh yeah,
every group has that. Thanks for dropping the links, Bubba. Appreciate it.
I just love that she says it right to her face, man.
Yeah,
and she doesn't do it with any kind of, oh, this is what they're calling you. She just said, look, they're calling you a dirty bitch.
Right.
All right. She's going to go over the text and stuff real quick. And
while that's playing, will you pin the links at the top of the chat?
Oh, did I not do that? Oh, that's right. I couldn't because of YouTube's stupid shit. YouTube, take that dumb heart off the bottom of my chat, please. Because I dropped our links earlier, Jack, and I was going to pin them, and I couldn't because there was nothing underneath it, so I couldn't get the damn 3 dots. Fucking YouTube. No, thank you for reminding me. I appreciate it. All right, here we go.
Some of these texts from you to a friend between the two of you before you met Trevor, this one. Next victim, star pitcher for the Dodgers. Okay. Victim is an interesting choice of words. I'm going to allow you a chance to explain yourself. But after you agree,
and she does, and it's dumb as shit. Her explanation, Jack. I know you said you watched a little bit of this, but did you get to see any of her explaining this away?
If I did, I don't remember it. I was in the middle doing other stuff too. So this chick's voice annoys me. So I was kind of tuning it out.
I was doing my normal thing where I had it playing off to the side and I was, fucking around on Twitter and stuff. But she starts talking and I catch what she's saying. I'm like, no, okay, I have to pay attention to this because I could not have heard what I just heard.
Agreed to meet. You asked your friend what you should steal. Your friend answered his money. He says, another one from you to a friend, I'm going to his house Wednesday. I already have my hooks in. You know how I roll. With a screenshot in which you told him, tryouts don't scare me, Bauer. Pick a day and I am there. Here are some more after you and Trevor met up. Net worth is $51 million, to which your friend responds, bitch, you better secure that bag. Your text, need daddy to choke me.
This is the kind of woman that makes Fresh and Fit seem like they have a point.
Oh, absolutely. Just like the dumb whores they get on their show.
All right, I need to back that up for a second because this part is important.
Back
Responds,
that up.
bitch, you
what
better
she did.
It is exactly what she did.
secure that bag. Your text, need daddy to choke me out, being an absolute whore to try to get in on his 51 million. You say this wasn't a setup. How can you expect anyone to believe that?
Again, props to Sarah for just going right at it. We just laid out all this shit where you're like, I'm going to try to get his money. He's my victim. How you expect anyone to believe you? Settle in, Jack.
Hang on. Thank you, disgruntled technician. I have no idea how this interview ends, but that slow fade of the smile while it's pointed out that she was chasing high-profile men seems fairly telling.
Right?
Yeah, this woman had no idea who she was talking to. You should expect to be challenged if you're going on Sarah's show.
Speaking of which, I am going to drop the link to to this clip. This is the YouTube clip of it. Check it out in full if you want to, without me talking over it. Also, you can go watch the full show where she covers other things on there too. You just got to go to the live section, I think.
That's a great question. I really appreciate you having me on to even have this conversation. Obviously, there's a lot going on around this, so I really appreciate people who are asking questions about it.
For the record, the audio does drop every now and then, so whether it's me or her, good luck to all of us. But I love it. Thank you for the question. Like she's a fucking politician.
Yeah. This bitch is gonna get fat too. Look at her face.
Oh yeah.
She got future fat girl face.
Look, she's at this point 27. She better lock down a baseball player quick.
Yeah, instead of trying to steal from him, maybe she should be trying to get her wedding ring.
First thing I want to say is, I think that Trevor did this intentionally with the text message.
Oh, Pot, have you met the kettle?
Yeah. Yes. It was all Trevor's evil maniacal plan. He's a long-term planner.
Messages and how he framed this video. There's several things in it that are not correct. And I just want to start out by saying, it's so valid for people to question those text messages. But the root of the problem.
Seriously, I don't know who her PR team is. You sitting there just telling me that I'm right to be questioning you does not make you seem less guilty. And I bring that up, Jack, because she thanks her for the questions all the time throughout this. Mm-hmm. And she even, at one point, I'm spoiling a little bit, she goes, "That's a good question." And Sarah goes, "Yeah, that's why I asked it."
Yeah. Sorry, honey, you're not here for softballs.
Yeah, it really came off like she had some kind of politician telling her, "Hey, make sure you thank him for the question because people like when you do that." Keldrick, thank you. That's a really great question. Let me stall a little bit until I can come up with an answer that doesn't make me look awful. No, I get what you're getting at with that, but the answers still make her look awful.
I think she had a PR team tell her how to respond during interviews. That's what this looks like to me, but she obviously didn't get enough training.
And in the pause screen, we see how she got the date with Trevor.
Problem here is that he is presenting this as one conversation when in reality he had thousands.
No, that's not true. He did not. And even with Sarah going over it, this wasn't presented as a conversation. Excuse me. This happened and then that happened and then it is clear that these are different areas where she was talking to her friends.
Yeah.
Now he presented it as one. No, you're a liar. This right here told me I should not believe you.
Thousands of messages to choose from, took those, made it look sequential, which it was not. There is no combined screenshot of those things going on one after the other. And as I said last night as well, there's no text message that ever exists. Otherwise he would have, put it out there, combining, anything about a setup through rough sex, finances all in one. Those were handpicked and they were from multiple different conversations.
Do you think having multiple conversations like that makes you sound better?
Yeah, it just sounds like this was a long in the making process. I
I
don't think it necessarily has to all be in the same conversation for you to look like you're up to no good, bitch.
I repeatedly talked about stealing his money. Yeah,
Yeah.
that's a much better look,
I applauded for some time before going after him.
right?
Before we met up. And I think that the video in general doesn't even talk about what actually happened between us two.
It does. He mentions it was consensual sex.
I think she meant like positions and
Oh, he
stuff like
didn't
that.
like how forceful each thrust was.
Yeah.
Yeah, okay. Yeah. I mean, she's right about that.
Which, if he had a home surveillance system, he would have it all on film.
Is what would have come out during a jury trial. These were all messages that happened before. And then, of course, the video is so valid as well for people to ask questions about. But I do think that that video was entirely misleading. He also references the restraining order hearing, which people also have questions about. He says that he was cleared of any wrongdoing, which is actually incorrect. In our civil case, the judge had actually ruled that he had not been cleared of any wrongdoing. And that was
couldn't get a restraining order. You claim that he raped you twice, and the judge was like, "Yeah, I'm not giving a restraining order here." The judge saying, "Hey, you have not been found not guilty of any wrongdoing." That is just a legal thing to say, "Look, hey, if this goes to a jury trial, a criminal jury trial, you can't point to this and say you didn't do anything wrong." I'm just saying, looking at this, I'm not giving that bitch a restraining order. You can get a restraining order if your spouse yells at you too hard. All right.
a federal court judge.
So I want to get to the domestic violence restraining order hearing as well, but I mean, so you're saying that it's misleading because you're admitting that you did talk about rough sex and wanting rough sex. You did talk about him needing to choke you out. You did talk about stealing his money, but it's misleading because he put them together in the same video as if you had said it in the same conversation when in fact it was separate conversations, correct? That's why it's misleading.
Correct.
And again, not what happened. It's not even what Sarah just said. You watch the Bauer video. We didn't watch the whole thing. We watched part of it. He never once suggested it is all one conversation.
I could see why some people might take that away just by not paying attention. But it doesn't matter if it was all in one conversation. She still admits that those were her texts.
It would be one thing if she said he gives the impression that it's all one. If he hadn't have said, she says this to her friend, and then later she says this to her friend, and on another day she says this to her friend. I get what you're saying, that maybe the audience might have taken the wrong impression away, but that's not his fault. It's not like he was purposefully deceptive. Is what I'm getting at.
Oh, I agree with you. I'm just saying I could see where some dummies might take it that way. And she doesn't strike me as being somebody that would work on, say, nuclear fission.
Well, here's what she could do. She could release the entire transcripts.
She could, but she's probably not gonna.
The only one that was allowed to, that was like, hey, now you can talk about this however you want, was him. I imagine she can too. It's her text messages. She can put the shit out.
Yeah. Do you think she's lining up to date JF Garapy now?
No, she's not quite that retarded.
Oh,
he likes to have that. I did kind of sound to the boys.
Well, she adjusted her facial expression to more his size.
You're not wrong, but she can actually enunciate. So yeah.
I don't know. She doesn't have a good face for blowjobs. I'm just saying.
No, she's gonna. You know what's gonna happen? This girl's gonna end up with some guy who's like, I believe you, and they'll have a romance for about a year, maybe 2, and then he's gonna get thrown into court for raping her. We've seen that happen with these girls before.
And she'll get all fat.
As well as not showing, the messages that occurred after where it discusses it strictly in the term of, being a baseball wife or something like that.
Well, show him. Straight. Got it. What should I steal? His money? Like a baseball wife.
or something like that. Okay. I'm just curious if you know like the statistical likelihood of you texting your friend premeditated texts saying you wanted him to choke you out and steal his money, take his money, and him actually choking you out, and those two things not being related.
Yeah. You texted your friend that you wanted him to choke me out, daddy. And her claim is that he choked her out during one of their sexual sessions, Jack. That's one of these sexual assaults that happened.
Well, she apparently was asking to be choked out, so not seeing an issue.
Pure coincidence that those happened. She told her friend that she wanted to be choked out, and then he did it. It was like serendipity.
Lots of chicks like to be choked during sex. I don't get it, but it's a thing that's real.
Yeah, but for her to say that to her friend and then be like, no, that shit just kind of happened when we got together. He choked me.
Yeah,
Bro,
it was a pure coincidence.
You've given the and I'm gonna get his money, and then you're like, I'm gonna get his money. Your lawyer, according to what Bauer said yesterday, before any restraining order, any court proceedings, her lawyer comes to him repeatedly to try to get a financial settlement from him.
Well, I mean,
pure coincidence.
Yeah, but would she already have a financial settlement with all the shit she probably stole from his house?
Probably. She probably got some diamonds to sell.
Yeah.
Athletes, stop hooking up with these beautiful chicks who just show up at your games and stuff. Just don't. Go find a beautiful woman somewhere else who doesn't know that you're an athlete.
This chick's a Midwest 7, dude. She's not that good looking. She's okay, but
she's pretty. She's a 7 is nice.
No, Midwest 7.
She's pretty. Stop.
She's okay. I don't find her that video of her being drunk and belligerent really was not attractive.
Oh, yeah.
It's a really, really valid question. And like I said, I think you would need to look through each conversation. Those were handpicked. But I can, like I said last night, completely own the fact that those were overly sarcastic, overly inappropriate to some may seem.
Overly inappropriate. Snubber, thank you. I mean, autoerotic asphyxiation is apparently a thing. I suppose there's some science, like how mice will hit a orgasm button till they die. Look, I'm not even judging people who do it, but for her to kind of suggest that there's no relevance to that message, and then her getting choked out, like he assaulted me. She didn't, make any other kind of. There's other kinds of sexual jokes you could have made. She specifically brings up choking.
Yeah. Well, it leaves marks on your neck. That's why.
Not even like tie me up, daddy, spank me, daddy. No. Choke me out, daddy. And then weirdly, she got choked out.
Yeah, because choking leaves marks on the neck, and it looks like you could say easily that it was violent.
No,
whereas if you're in bondage or something, it's you're in bondage.
I hear you, but what I'm talking about is her trying to pretend that those two are just not even completely related.
Yeah. Well, honestly,
why
she
go
really was.
Sorry, go ahead.
If she was really trying to scam, she would have said, we're going to do light bondage. And then she'd be like, he fucking choked me out. I wasn't down with that. See, then it's plausible deniability.
Right. The choking thing there, like you said, yes. Why that one? Because it does leave marks. Her trying to be like that, they're completely unrelated.
There's no way you could parse that.
Could you pick some lotto numbers for me?
Right? Oh, hey, I got a couple of things here. Thank you, Keldrick. This is more painful to watch than JF basically confessing to murder. Yeah, it kind of is, because this chick's kind of stupid. And he's dumb in a different way.
We've seen it now twice where she reaffirms that Sarah, hey, that's a valid thing to ask.
Yeah, that's weird, man.
Who is your PR team? Seriously, you need to fire them.
Yeah, and get a lawyer. Thank you, Travis Gardner. I really want to know why the Blaze is giving her time. She needs to just unpersoned. Well, people like this you can't just ignore, because the false accusation thing is a little too common now.
Yeah.
And it's because there's no consequences for women. So I get why they would want to run with this one and make her look really stupid.
I haven't seen the Alex Stein one, but typically in these cases, these girls, if they do give any interviews, like I said, it's MSNBC where they know they're just going to be catered to.
Yeah.
If I was a host and like, hey, this crazy bitch wants to talk to you, you want to do it? I'd be all over that shit.
Yeah. Well, you got to admit, some of these people are pseudo drama channels too. Alex Stein, definitely.
Oh, sure. Yeah, yeah.
So, and Sarah's doing it, I think, because she's kind of a tomboy chick. Like, she likes country music and sports and shit like that, it seems. So, and I get it. I mean, the false accusation against a major baseball player is kind of spotlighting the fact that this happens to a lot of guys, and a lot of guys aren't in his financial position to fight back.
Mm-hmm.
And most celebrities would just write a check to make it go away.
In chat, Maniac Man says, I'm in the MGTOW sphere, not those idiots who actually hate women, guys who simply encourage self-improvement. We tell guys no rough play, no punching, hitting, etc. Yeah, it's probably not a bad rule.
Yeah,
especially if you're a young, rich baseball player. Snubber, thank you. Oh no, you're not into the VTuber scene, but they are trying to continue the Halloween's tradition of everything is problematic. This year, it's spooky is racist because of things said in the 30s. I am shocked spooky hasn't been one already, to be honest.
They tried that a while back. There was a show on British TV called Spooks, and it was about MI5. When they moved it over to the States, they called it MI5.
Right. Because, even though we do refer to clandestine people as being spooks, can't do it because way back when some racist idiots used it in a different manner.
Yeah.
What's up, Mickey? All right.
Hey, Mickey.
Let's get back to dumbass here.
And it does give off that impression about clout chaser and totally attention-seeking behavior. But I just feel that they have, nothing to do with what actually took place. But it does cause a lot of questions.
You saying choke me out, daddy, has nothing to do with you being choked out. All right, fair enough, I guess. She said that out loud.
Yep.
As to why I was, seeking Trevor out. But at the end of the day, there was
money. For his money. You knew nothing about him other than he was a baseball player and had a lot of money when you were seeking him out. It's not like you're like, he's such a good person. We have the deepest conversations. You hadn't met him yet.
He's really good at managing his money, and he's really got a hot wallet. A big throbbing wallet.
That's all it was.
He's known to be very hung in the Benjamin department.
Going after him, he's just so intelligent. Shut up.
Nothing about a setup with violence and all of this stuff and getting financial gain. It was strictly, a 25 or however old I was at the time, girl trying to get attention from those things and phrasing it in a sarcastic way before we met.
Okay.
However old I was when I got violently raped twice. What are you, Blasey Ford? I mean, I remember it happened. The exact dates. That's The
engrams formed in my mind.
Okay, so I've got a couple other questions on that. So you said in court that he sexually assaulted you on 2 different encounters, and you say the first time that you say he choked you unconscious. Clearly,
choke me out, daddy. That's what choke me out means, is till you're unconscious. Complete coincidence.
Insinuation is you didn't like it because now you're calling it an assault. But why did you make the drive back to LA to meet back up with him a second time if this man had just assaulted you by your own account?
Yep. She drove back to LA to get sexually assaulted again.
If she says restorative justice, I might drop out of the stream.
Oh, no, it's not quite that. It's not quite that. It's just as dumb, though. Here we go.
I think that's a really good question. How I phrased it and how I tried in the past is that
Fucking Sarah. I think that's a really good question. That's why I asked it.
I was so embarrassed by the first encounter that I felt something, deep in me to go and take the power back and to be better and to be.
He chugged me out, so I went and fucked him again to take the power back. Really? That's what you're going with. See, I told you it wasn't as bad, or it wasn't restorative justice, but it was just as bad.
Yeah, that. I've worked with victims of sexual assault, and sometimes they will have sex with somebody just to reclaim their power, as they call it. They don't go back to their rapist. I'm sure that's happened, but I don't think I've ever met anyone that's done that or heard of anyone doing that.
Yeah, I drove back. I don't know where she's from, but drove to Los Angeles, so she's obviously not there. That's what Sarah's highlighting at that point. She's like, yes, I'm going to go back there, and this time I'm going to be the dom. All right.
That's
what he wanted in a sense.
Go ahead.
It's really weird.
Yeah.
Also, thank you, Travis Gardner. This is what billionaires go for 4s and 5s. Safety. There is more safety in average women. Plus, they try harder.
Me to go and take the power back and to be better and to be what he wanted in a sense. And so I don't know. There's been a lot of, through all the processes, witness experts on the psychology of what happens when you are assaulted, XYZ. But there was something in me that felt like I needed to make it better in a sense.
I hadn't got his checkbook yet, and I forgot to take pictures of the choking, and so I had to go do it again.
Okay.
This is why false rape accusations need to be prosecuted, because
yes,
she is making it very, very difficult for actual rape survivors to come forward, because unbelievable shit like this is going to cast doubt on their stories.
Yeah.
You texted Trevor before you met him, telling him you liked rough sex. Then you texted him after your first sexual encounter with him, which you now call an assault. And according to court records, you told him after that sexual encounter that you had, quote, never been more turned on in your life. That's not really something that someone says when they were just assaulted.
Those aren't on the same day, so those don't really count. She tells me in advance, I like rough sex. And afterwards, she's like, that's the most turned on I've ever been when you raped me. Maybe she's been hanging out with E.G. and Carol, man. Yeah. This happened, you guys. All right, here we go.
I think it's a super valid question.
Every fucking time.
No, this one is super valid.
Yes, but we've had 2 good questions, a valid question, and now a super valid question. Just
next one is going to be ultra mega good.
Ultra mega valid?
Yeah.
I think you're asking me is a super valid question.
I agree. That's why I'm asking them.
Totally. And I think that I'm not, that's what expert witnesses are for in court in terms of the psychology behind that.
No. You don't need to go to experts in court. You wrote that. Why were you super turned on by it the day after? And 6 months later, like, he raped me. You wrote that you choked me out, daddy. You wrote and told him you like to have rough sex. You have rough sex. You say it's super sexy. And then like, oh, it was rape. One of those is not like the others.
Responses to abuse and things like that. But like I said, I was just trying to make myself feel better about myself after what had happened the first time. And after the first time I left without any markings on my body, my face was fine.
I think we have a clue of why she went back. What did I just say, Jack? There was no marks.
Oh, there was a mark,
Um,
just not in the physical sense. It was just
oh yeah, there.
the
Trevor
con
was the mark. Yeah.
and I thought that the second time, excuse me, would be like the first time, minus the things I told him I was not comfortable with.
Yeah, so you mentioned the markings on your body. I want to play a portion of his video in which he plays I would say, interesting video of you in his bed. Watch.
In August of 2021, Lindsey Hill's claims were heard in court. And during those legal proceedings, critical information was deliberately and unlawfully concealed from me and my legal team. Information like this video, which was taken by Lindsey Hill herself the morning after she claimed she was brutally attacked, emotionally traumatized.
Now, I want to stop there because I have not seen anybody else mention this. But not only does she smile here, she does an eyebrow raise.
Yeah. Like,
What is
I
that typically?
got him.
Right? Isn't that typically a sign of aha?
Yeah.
That's not a oh, I just got raped kind of thing. The smirk is bad, but that eye raise is what really sets me off. Because I mean, how can you look at that and be like, no, she totally got raped that day?
By Lindsey Hill herself the morning after she claimed she was brutally attacked, emotionally traumatized, and desperate to get away from me.
Now,
And now
I finally know why she pokes her lip out like that. Remember what she said a moment ago. After the first assault, there's no markings on her at all. She does have a fat lip right here. There's, if you see this in a better quality, you can see the beginning of a bruise on her lip there.
Is that from the cock?
It's from them having rough sex.
Yeah.
But she
slamming
got
his balls into her chin.
She does the eye raise, smiles, and then zooms in so you can see, look, I got a bruise.
I think what bothers me most about this video is him wearing that eye mask.
Yeah, me too. Stop that. Get some curtains, fucker.
They're called
we
blackout.
have the metadata, so there can be no dispute. It was taken mere minutes before she left my house on the morning of May 16th, 2021, without my knowledge or consent.
Yeah, and it's this side of her lip right over here, and she is highlighting it. She's smiling, highlighting that she's got a fat lip. Notice she doesn't highlight her neck, her eyes, and this is going to come in important later. Nowhere else but that lip. She just told there were no marks after the first time. I had to go back. Yeah.
Of course. In it, you can see her lying in bed next to me while I'm sleeping, smirking at the camera without a care in the world, or any marks on her face. I think it paints a pretty clear picture of what actually happened the evening of May 15th and why the video was originally concealed from us.
Lindsey, I think there are a lot of sexual assault survivors who would say you don't look traumatized there and you don't look beaten. And this is allegedly after you say that he brutally attacked you and you had bruises all over your body. You had bruises all over your face. I don't see any bruises there. And I certainly don't see a woman who's just been traumatized by something horrible.
Again, super valid. I think that I will.
So we have two super valids now, Jack.
That's super valid.
That's super valid.
I woke up that morning, and the best way to explain that video is I hadn't seen my entire body yet. I had no idea what had happened, considering, I was unconscious for most of it. I had no idea what had happened to my full body.
But if it was that.
And your immediate thing is to film a video of you smiling.
Yeah, she's still, even if she hadn't seen her whole body yet, she knew she'd had sex with someone allegedly forced on her. Why is she smiling? That's so weird.
Severe, wouldn't you already feel pain?
Yes.
Wouldn't you already have bruises
Yes.
on your face? I mean, you say that he punched you in the face, but where are the bruises?
Yeah, so that's something that has not, been publicly released, or he won't talk about. But over and over again in this process, we have handed him pictures that were taken between 20 and 30 minutes right after that video was taken, of the bruising starting to develop, of the scratching, and it has been time and time again verified through metadata.
All right, I just want to point out, sometimes bruises do take a while to show. Scratches are pretty immediate.
Yeah, absolutely.
It was a matter of being in the correct lighting, the spacing to take the right thing. And another difference is, iPhone camera versus a Snapchat recording and things like that.
All right, we're going to pause right there because I want to show you something, Jack. According to her, it's just some lighting. It was lighting. Here is the picture of Lindsey. This is a picture from that thing. It's just the lighting that you can't see bruises. Have you seen the pictures of the bruises?
No.
This is supposedly the picture of the bruises that she's talking about right now that was taken 20
Jesus
to 30
Christ.
minutes. 20 to 30 minutes later.
I'm sorry. You ever been punched in the face?
Yes, I have.
You ever have a black eye take that long to develop?
No.
Like one that serious?
I got kicked.
I mean, it's usually
in
fairly
the eye.
quickly with the blood pooling like that.
I got kicked in the face during a riot I might have started. And I absolutely did start it. It was justified though. And
nothing to see.
You see her right eye? Well, it's her left eye, but the right eye on the screen. Actually, I can't tell because this is flipped from the video. And I don't know if the video has the nose ring on the wrong side or if the picture has it on the wrong side. Whichever. On the right side of the screen, her right eye, I had a bruise almost exactly like that. You know how long it took to form?
About 30 seconds.
About 3 minutes. By the time I got into the car, which was just moments later, that bruise was already there.
Oh, yeah. And I bet you
this
knew
is the
about
kind
it
of shit. Yeah, this is the kind of shit that people who've never been punched in the face will, oh, yeah, that I have had bruises that take a while to develop. That's a deep bruise with a minor bleed. Your face, there's not much there between the bone and the skin. Bruising happens pretty quick.
Yeah, it's not like
if it's
good.
No, go ahead.
There are certain bruises that take longer to get. Like you smack your leg against a table or something, it can take a little while for that to show up.
Mm-hmm.
But somebody hits you in the face and it busts some blood vessels like that, it's going to start developing really quickly.
Especially around the eyes. In your cheeks and stuff, it can take longer because, again, there's more there for the blood to actually have to pool up to where you can see it. Yeah. But
of course. But
here's the picture in bed. Where it's just a lighting issue. He must have really good lighting in his house to where it makes bruises disappear.
Yeah, it's some of that natural lighting.
It's Snapchat, it's just Snapchat. And here she is 20 to 30 minutes later. Now,
yeah, I'm not buying that at all. I mean, you can hide some discoloration in the face.
Sure.
Between makeup and just it takes a little while to develop, but it's not like the JF thing where it was the video was a couple days later and it's had time to heal.
Yeah.
This is like right after the fact. So I'm not buying that those injuries happened from that. Maybe she gave a friend $50 to punch her in the face. Maybe it was makeup.
Yep.
The mouth swelling. Okay. The swelling could have gotten significantly worse. Fine. That looked more like Botox to me, but sure, maybe her lips swelled up from rough sex or whatever. But the eyes, I'm not buying that. Sorry, that doesn't look right to me.
Well, this is the point that I was making. If you see right here, there's dark discoloration, and it is the exact spot that she shows off in the video.
Yeah.
Now, it is not unheard of for people having rough sex to slap each other.
Oh, yeah.
And to hit somebody in the mouth while you're doing that, or even rough fellatio.
Yeah.
That alone is not like proof that he beat you during sex in a way you didn't want.
Yeah, just the way her whole lips are swollen, though, it just looks more like Botox to me.
I mean, her lips being swollen in general, I wouldn't be surprised if there wasn't Botox from the last baseball player she was fucking, which did happen.
Yeah.
But I have no problem believing she had a fat lip there.
Oh, yeah. Yeah,
but
the side that you pointed out looked like she got smacked.
Yeah.
in the face. That looked
And-
like a legitimate immediate bruise swelling.
And that's why I pointed out when you're taking those pictures, you can see yourself. She's like,
Mhm.
I hadn't seen myself yet. Well, when you take a picture of yourself, you're taking video of yourself on your phone, you turn the camera around so you're looking at what you're filming. Notice she's perfectly in frame. It's not like this is an old-fashioned film or old-fashioned camera where to do that, you had to turn the phone around and you can't see the screen.
Yeah.
She clearly can see the screen because she clearly shows that up. She doesn't point to her eye. She doesn't point to any neck. In that second picture that I showed you guys, there's a scratch going down her cheek. There's no scratch on her cheek. I'm with you. I think she paid somebody to beat her ass.
Yeah.
It's
That would
a
not
little
surprise me.
too good. It's a little too good for makeup.
Yeah.
Anyway.
Hold on. I got a couple things. What?
I just want to point this out. She's saying that these pictures were available to her team or to his team. You still were supposed to give him that video. There's a reason you guys only gave him these things, and it just makes you look guilty that you're like, oh, we did give him pictures. Why not that video? Go ahead. I'm sorry, Jack.
No, I'm with you on that. Thank you, disgruntled technician. I hadn't looked at my whole body yet to determine if I think I'd been raped. Yeah. Good Lord, her story is leakier than a screen door on a submarine. Not wrong.
Bubba McCoy says, poked in both eyes during rough fellatio. No, for the lip issue.
Yeah.
Did you have another one?
That's where he was doing angry teabagging, was the eyes.
Yes.
And thank you, the stairs. I don't do that good of a job on you, Monk.
Wow.
That's awful.
Well, I don't bruise that easily anyway, so. Well, here, go to that point, Jack. I got hit one time. I was helping my friend move their car out of snow, and I was in a position, and she was not supposed to hit the gas yet, but she did, and it sent a 2x4 flying at my leg. Smacked me right in the shin. Never bruised. I got kicked in the face and bruised immediately. The face will bruise pretty quickly. I don't bruise that often. All the times I've fallen down the stairs, there's not been a single bruise on me.
Damn, dude.
Yeah, I just don't bruise. Now, Lady Monkey, if you breathe too hard to her, she gets a bruise.
Yeah, I don't bruise super easily either. So, but like my dad, he takes like medication that makes him bruise super fast.
Ooh.
So there is solid bulletproof evidence of those bruising marks, scratches, things that were provided to their team from day one.
You were supposed to provide the video from day one, and there's a reason you guys didn't.
It was a very brutal attack in which you were very bruised, but we couldn't see the bruises because of the lighting. I want to move on here. So Trevor mentioned in his clip that you withheld evidence, more evidence, and later posted on Twitter after being asked if your lawyers were aware that you withheld evidence. He said, it appears her lawyers had the evidence the entire time. Speaking specifically about the video of her laying in bed next to me with no marks on her face the morning after she claims I brutally attacked her, an email containing that video was sent to her attorney before the domestic violence restraining order hearing in 2021, and it was never turned over to us. Perhaps that's why he insisted on adding his name to the released parties section in the settlement agreement. There was also a 12-day span of text between Lindsey and two of her.
What she was just talking about there is in their settlement, because this wasn't just thrown out. They agreed on a $0 settlement, which is not exactly true either. But the lawyer who has this video before the restraining order and never turned it over, he had to be a signatory to like, yeah, you can never come after me either.
Yeah, because
I'm fairly certain that's not normal practice.
For that. Yeah,
100%.
Parties section in the settlement agreement. There was also a 12-day span of text between Lindsey and two of her closest friends immediately following the incident that were deleted. We asked for them in discovery for the restraining order hearing, and they were not turned over. Why did your lawyers withhold what seems to be very exculpatory evidence for Trevor?
You know what? That's something my lawyers would have to answer, and that's his issue with them. Like I said, there was an email. I provided absolutely everything I had. And a key fact about this that no one does know about is that that video was actually the first thing that I handed over to Pasadena police, and it's on body cam footage. So I did everything to hand over all of that stuff. It was my first time in a legal proceeding, and I did what I was told when I was told to do it.
All right. That is fair. It is not up to her. It's up to her lawyers to give that stuff. So if she had turned it over to them, that's not on her. But again, he was talking about why your lawyer was a dickbag.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
Yeah, you mentioned that you went to the police. Why wasn't he arrested, do you think? Or, no charge?
Because she just told you why she wasn't. The first thing she gave them was that video that shows no marks on her. She ran to the police and went, I was raped. Here, look at the evidence. And it's her smiling, looking all pretty, going, yee. That's a pretty easy answer right there. Let's see what Lindsey says.
Charges were brought on him. Why do you think that is?
That only the Pasadena Police Department would know that. What I do know is that I handed over my phone and computer because I had nothing to hide, and I interviewed with them. I did everything they told me. We have a 28-minute pretext call that's recorded that's never been public. That really explains a lot. And what I do know is that Trevor refused to talk to the police, refused to give him their phones. So,
yes, when you're the defendant in the case, you should absolutely refuse to work with the police.
Yeah, if the cops get a goddamn lawyer before you talk to the cops, they're gonna be like, "Don't hand your phone over, dummy." Yep. You don't know what kind of narrative they're going to craft with what's on there.
It would be wonderful to believe that you could just prove yourself innocent, but that's not what happens. That's why lawyers tell you not to talk to the police, because you could say something. Take the JF thing. JF could be innocent, but with everything he said, it's really easy to believe he's guilty.
Yeah.
So I'm not really one to speak on that. I just had to let it play out.
Yeah, I mean, if I was accused by a sexual partner who had given consent to have sex with, that I was now being accused of sexual assault, I probably wouldn't talk to the police at that time either.
You shouldn't, even if you did it. And sorry, I'm not trying to help rapists here, but you should not talk to the police. There's a reason we have, Miranda warnings and all that.
Yeah.
Shut the fuck up. Make them get a warrant. Make them get a subpoena. Do not just turn the shit over willingly. Any lawyer worth his salt will tell you that.
Yeah.
Why didn't you turn over the text with you and your closest friends? Is this 12-day span? Why didn't you turn those over?
They really focus on that a lot. And like I said, I did everything in my power. I sat up there and I testified and said, I don't have access to this on this backup. Can you please get them from Pasadena police? I would have given everything, like I said, from day one. And so I was really an advocate for getting all those texts because I knew that there was nothing in there that would,
and the police wouldn't release them to you?
I'm not sure. I was the one, like I said, who said, in court, please get them from the Pasadena police because I do not have access to them.
But
you could have went and asked the Pasadena police for them. That's what she's asking you. She's not asking you what you said on the stand during a domestic violence complaint.
If the Pasadena police can give it to them, they could give it to you as well.
Yep.
No?
I don't know. I mean,
What?
I don't know.
I don't know. Only the defense could get it. We could definitely not ask for it. Fucking retard.
I asked my lawyers. I don't know if Trevor's team had done that as well.
You should be suing your lawyer right now. If all of this that you said is true and your lawyer acted like this, then they were not an advocate for you. You should be suing them.
I just did. I was so overwhelmed at that time, but I was more than willing to cooperate with absolutely everything.
So you said last night in your interview with fellow Blaze TV host Alex Stein that you said fully prepared to take this case to trial. But Trevor says that your attorneys approached him multiple times trying to settle after all of this incriminating evidence for you was released.
Wait. They tried to settle for money first. And then they came to him with, hey, how about we just throw this whole kind of thing out?
He lying?
I actually have no idea how the settlement came about. Again, that would.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, for those of you who've never dealt with a lawyer, if a settlement offer is made, you have to sign off on it.
Yes.
As the person the lawyer is representing. Oh, hang on. As the lawyer, or as the person the lawyer is representing, they can't just go make a deal in your name. You have to sign off on it. You're telling me you had I have no idea how the settlement came to be. Really? I guess you don't know how you got choked out when you're talking about being choked out either. Keldrick, thank you. And Trump and Kavanaugh were there running a train on E. Jean Carroll while Johnny Depp was slapping around Amber Heard. Yes. As you said earlier, Jack, these people, they do a horrible injustice to real rape victims.
Yeah, absolutely.
Because of people like this chick, real rape victims are not going to be believed.
Would be, I don't think people really understand that I'm pretty far removed from the process of lawyer versus lawyer.
But not when it comes to making the deals and stuff. They have to approve that through you. I'm pretty far removed. Oh, for fuck's sake.
Mm-hmm. Well, I mean, surely you give your consent as to whether or not you want to settle.
True.
Yeah, absolutely.
Mm-hmm.
And it actually is a really big bummer that this case is not going to trial, because all of the evidence that has not been public, including the other accusers and all of those things.
I don't want to talk about the other accusers because I'm here to focus on you. If they want to talk, I'd love to talk to them, but this is a separate issue here. You agreed to the settlement, but now you're saying it's a bummer it's not going to court. I don't understand how those two things jive.
I think that I really had to take into consideration my mental health. This litigation's never ending. And I think the bigger question, and Alex said it last night, if he really wanted, to clear his name or, press charges for fraud, which he did not do with me, he did with the other woman. I think the bigger question is, why did Trevor settle? And why?
Now I have to watch the Alex Stein video, because Alex Stein is like, she's saying here that Alex Stein's basically saying the guy's guilty because he didn't sue her for fraud. Wasn't this whole thing him suing her for defamation?
Yes.
He sues her for defamation. She turns around and I think it's like 4 months later countersues for sexual assault. That's the timeline here. He was trying to clear his name. This is not a criminal case. This was him suing her. Why did he not go to court?
Why doesn't he want to take this all the way? And it's because of the chance of cross-examination and all the evidence for my case.
You're the one who said you wanted this to go to. It's a shame it didn't go to trial. The person, you could have said, no, I am not settling this. Let's go. Because you were suing for sexual assault. You had to agree to drop that. Not your lawyer. Go ahead.
What might be going on here, though, is crafty legal maneuvers, because he was suing her for defamation. Now that she's doing interviews and stuff, maybe he'll file for fraud.
Well, part of the settlement was that he could talk about this case.
Yeah.
And I guess that he wasn't allowed to previously, but he can say whatever the fuck he wants to, and she can't do shit about it. That was what he wanted to do, was put his story out there.
Oh, yeah, I get that. But since now it's being aired out in public, he could always go after her for fraud or extortion or blackmail or something civilly.
Rogue Thought says, how much did this disgusting Amber Light get? Oh. Now, I kind of prefaced this earlier, or foreshadowed it earlier. It was settled for $0, but she still did get money, Jack, and I believe it comes up right here.
I mean, I think that's an assumption that you're making, right? I would say maybe Trevor wanted to settle because you're talking about your mental health. Couldn't it be that he was tired of going through it as well, especially if his case is to be made that he's being falsely accused of something he didn't do? You both consented to rough sex. You had a safe word, and you didn't use it. And you don't want your name to be tarnished for all this time, and you just want it to go away. I think that it's terrible that you would say he didn't want to settle because he didn't want all of this to come out when you yourself also settled. I don't think that that's a fair statement at all.
Yeah, I'd be curious to see what the settlement says, because like you just mentioned with the fraud thing, it was said that, you know, he couldn't be held responsible for what had been said already. You just accused him of not wanting to be found. You're leaning into defamation again.
Mm-hmm.
But anyway.
So my last question, as part of the settlement, you disclosed that you received $300,000 from an insurance company. How did you con an insurance company into paying you any money? And does that money just go to your lawyers, or does any of it go to you?
I love how she asked that question. How did you con an insurance company? My guess would be that my guess would be that he has an umbrella policy that covers things like lawsuits, and instead of her getting an actual thing, that part of the settlement was that they'd give her a $300,000 payoff.
Probably. My theory, she slept with the adjuster and then blackmailed him.
Perhaps. The money has gone to the lawyer in a trust. I read that in an article somewhere.
Yeah, I wish I could speak more into that, but I am prohibited from talking about that part. So I wish I could go more into detail, but I don't believe I would agree with you on the word con at all. So
okay,
so I'll go into that more.
Yeah, I mean, Lindsey, I don't like it when men are falsely accused of doing things, and they have their livelihoods taken from them. And it's done by someone who is, speaking out of both sides of their mouth, saying, well, I wish that this had gone to court, because if it did, boy, let me tell you all the evidence that you could be seeing, but now you can't. And also then settled the case. I don't find that to be credible. I will leave you with this. I want you to learn your lesson on pursuing public figures, and I would ask that you stop sliding into my friend Alex Stein's DMs.
Alex, she's a gold digger. Don't bang this whore.
Don't listen to him, Alex. You make your own mistakes, buddy.
Thank you very much, Lindsey.
I really respect you, and that's nice to end that way. I really do respect what you have to say, and I hope there's a day that you can see the real truth of the situation.
She just called you a gold-digging whore. And a gold-digging lying whore. And you're like, oh, yeah, I'm glad you said that.
I don't think I'm sorry, go ahead.
What the fuck is wrong with this chick?
Oh, so many things, dude. So many things. Sorry, I think we have a bit of a lag because we keep stepping on each other. No, I think that she didn't realize this was an antagonistic interview until like the last 2 minutes.
But even then, dude, it's like, come on. She literally just called her a lying whore. A lying gold digging whore, and she's like, she giggles at that shit. You should have got mad at that.
Well, maybe it was arousing since she's into rough stuff.
Oh my God. And there it is, guys. I just think it's important to see things like that because, yeah, remember, this does not happen. I wanted this to go to court. Then why did you settle? Oh, my mental health. Well, then why did you start it? Why didn't you settle sooner? I mean, this gets settled because he gets that video. That's when the lawyer comes to him and is like, oh, how about we settle this for nothing? We'll just call it even.
That's a wash.
That's when your lawyer went to him. It's not credible to me that you desperately wanted this so you could prove your case in court. It was just bad lighting. You're not credible. You're just not. Anyway, anything else to say on that crazy bitch?
No, I'm glad I didn't stick my dick in that crazy because she ain't that good looking.
Guys, stay away from the nose ring, man. You know, the NFL started helping out their young players because they were having a real problem with these guys getting millions and millions of dollars, going through their career, and 2 years later being literally in the gutter, having no money left. So they started teaching them more and more about, how to deal with your finances. And it's a good thing too, because these guys do suddenly become rich, and people who do that tend to just blow through all their money. All athletes and probably even actors, anybody who gets suddenly rich like this needs to have a class on the kind of people who will try to take advantage of you.
Yes.
Whether it's a relative you never heard of before or a love interest who pops out of nowhere wanting to blow you in the back room, just be careful. There are people like that out there who are just in it to take your shit, and if they don't get it, they will find a way to get it.
Absolutely.
Anyhow, let's talk about Vivek Ramaswamy, shall we?
Oh yeah, but real quick, thank you, Keldrick. Gentlemen, there is a compromise. The Dick and Dash. It's the Dine and Dash, but for sex.
I suppose so. Don't take her to your home. What the fuck?
No, you have have a
Anyhow.
special apartment under your secret name, like hypothetically Matthias Jarbroni, International Man of Sexing.
All right. So Vivek had a small little rally kind of thing today outside of a coffee shop. I don't know. I'm not a politician. They're going to all the small towns across Iowa. I don't know if they're doing any in like New Hampshire or anything. Normally it's just a big push through Iowa at this time. And he stops at this one place, and while he's there, somebody who reportedly was part of the protest, we'll get into whether or not they were in a minute, runs into one of his cars. Now nobody's hurt, but she backs into one of his cars, and people on Twitter come out and like, look what happened. And the police put out a statement, Jack. We're going to read the police statement real fast.
It's dumb as fucking thing.
All right. So what's that? I'm sorry, bud.
No, it's one of the dumbest fucking things I've ever read.
It says on October 5th. Oh, this is a horrible picture of this. I wonder if there's hang on. Let me see if I can find a better one that's not blurry to me before we even make it smaller. Sorry about that, guys. Sometimes that happens. I need that post specifically. Oh, here we go. This is much better. I wanted that post for different pictures in there. All right. On October 5th, 2023 at 1:02 p.m., Grinnell police were dispatched to St. Rest Coffee House, and they give the place. Upon arrival, they contacted Celia Meager, 22-year-old of Grinnell, who stated she'd been eating lunch at Jay's Deli, located in the back of the coffee shop. She got into her Honda Civic, blue in color, bearing fucking dyslexia, Minnesota plates, and began backing out of the parking spot to proceed northbound on Broad Street. While backing up, she accidentally made contact with a 2023 Ford Expedition. The Ford was parked on the opposite side of the street. Keep that in mind. The Ford is parked on the opposite side of the street. It was unoccupied at the time of the accident. The impact caused minor damage to both vehicles, blah, blah, blah. The Ford was a rental car associated with Vivek Ramaswamy's campaign staff, as presidential candidate Ramaswamy was having a campaign event at the coffee house at the time. Now, here's the important part of this whole statement. The purpose of this media release is to clarify information circulating on social media concerning the details of this accident. It was reported on social media that two protesters intentionally, there was another person in the car, that's why they say two protesters, that two protesters intentionally rammed into Ramaswamy's vehicle and fled the scene. Our investigation has revealed no evidence to substantiate that information. Meager stated that she was not in the area to protest, did not know who the vehicle she struck belonged to. She did not intentionally back into the vehicle. She did not flee the scene of the accident. Anyone having information related to the accident is asked to contact the Grinnell Police Department. Well, Jack, there's a lot of evidence on the old Twitter machine.
What?
Yeah, including this picture here, which is fucking wonderful. This is right before the accident. This is before the accident. This car right here, this one, oh, I can't circle. I need a circle thing, is the car that backs into Ramaswamy's vehicle. And if you can see it, I don't know how you can see it on the screen here. The driver is giving Ramaswamy the finger. I didn't know who he was. I had to walk past a couple of people on my way out, and that always pisses me off. So I gave him the finger.
She just hates brown people, clearly.
I hate really bad haircuts.
I hate Indians, she's saying.
Yeah. So the whole notion that she did not know who it was. I mean, you'd have to explain to me why you're giving him the finger then.
Yeah.
But that's not the part that tells me that she's lying, Jack. The part that tells me she's lying is another picture, and we have to bring this up on a different kind of screen because, well, in the original there's license plates. So this is a picture of the street itself. She backed into it. These cars up here on the upper left, they're in line with where Ramaswamy's car is. Look how much fucking space there is across this street to back up and get going forward. How in the fuck did you accidentally back all the way across the street?
Temporal distortion?
I suppose so. And notice this person is getting a picture of their license plate as they're clearly getting ready to drive away.
Yeah. Oh no, they're not fleeing the sea, monkey. They're merely eluding capture.
Oh, for fuck's! How the hell do you hit any car across the street there backing up?
That's a good question.
Yeah, this was intentional. They were being a dick. But no, there's no evidence that she did it on purpose. How bad are the drivers in your town? Should they all move to Michigan?
I'm wondering
I
if
get
she
it.
does it. Sorry.
I get it's a female driver, but they're not that bad at driving.
Well, let's not get carried away. What I'm wondering if she has a relationship, like if she's a local, because if she is, she's probably knows somebody on the police department.
She is a local. She's from. It says in that statement that she's from that area.
Yeah, so she probably knows some of the people. This isn't a big town. She probably knows some of the people, like on the sheriff's department or whatever.
But yeah, I saw that shit. Sorry, I was getting up to get my drink. I got a refill already. It's just not credible to me that she accidentally did that back. And as Bubba pointed out, those are angled parking spaces. Makes it even easier to back out and go the way she was planning on going.
Your hate facts have no place here. She was decolonizing the white supremacist parking methodology at play here, because obviously the parking is angled to the right, like you would when you Heil Hitler, right?
Oh, fair. Look, even if she was backing out to go the other way, there's plenty of room in that. By the way, there is video of her backing out, and she almost hits another car.
Well, she's on a spree now.
Before she runs into Ramaswamy's vehicle, she almost hits another one. Do I have that video?
I mean, did you get more points for the pre-gaming accident?
Yeah, right. Where is the... No, that's just the video. Talk. There's one where you can see her as she's backing out. This is where the picture of her giving the finger comes from. I think it's this one. Yeah. All right. He is just walking up to the thing to start his campaign event here. This is him. That's who we're following. And then as it swings around, here's Miss giving the finger. Right here's extend, give the finger. There's the finger. She starts to back out and almost hits a truck. She's so... This guy that she does not know, right, Jack? There's no reason to think she was there protest. She didn't even know who he was. She's so intent on giving him the finger that she almost causes another accident. Don't worry, guys. Nothing to see here. Nothing to see. Our politics needs to calm down, man. People are getting way too crazy out there.
Yeah, if he's smart, he's getting a security detail immediately.
Yeah, absolutely. Because it's just insane. Speaking of insane, Aiden Paladin reached out to me on Twitter today. Oh, by the way, guys, I always tell you my DMs are open. Apparently, sometime recently, they did a change over there on Twitter, and one of the settings you can have in your DMs is verified users only, and that became the default. And by the verified, that's with the check. So if you've tried to send me a DM and you're not somebody I've already talked to in DMs, you probably couldn't do that. I have fixed that so it is open to everybody again. Elon, please stop doing shit like that to me. I don't mind
That
my
probably
DMs
happened
being
when
open.
you signed up for Twitter Blue.
It probably did, but that shouldn't be the default if I've already had it set to open, for fuck's sake.
You'd think.
But anyway, Aiden reached out to me on Twitter. He's like, I can't send you DMs because I'm not verified or I'm not Twitter Blue. Why do you think I'm a liar? So I told her why I thought she was a liar. And I went over all the stuff we talked about yesterday. I'm not going to go over it again. And she sent me a book, Jack. Holy shit. I haven't even got to read it all because it's like 115 paragraphs.
Wow. Okay.
For the record, I think you're a liar. Other than that, I don't much care about you. I don't think about you. It's not, it doesn't mean that much to me. I got some laughs out of pointing out that you're a liar. It's not that deep for me. Why can't people just accept that people like to laugh at them?
Ego?
I suppose. Oh my God, did you see Tom Segura losing his mind?
I don't know who that is.
He's the comedian who did The Machine. He's the comedian that always takes off his top and he's a fat guy.
Oh, yeah, okay.
Him. Oh my God. I was not expecting this. Dumb cunt from American Air made me gate check my bag so she feels the little power she has in her life. I get it. You win this round, cunt. It gets worse. Some get mad when people vent online at their airline frustrations, but honestly, it's a healthy outlet. Think of the alternatives. Writing is probably the best option. You get the emotion out, get some validation, and can fantasize that old cunt face sees what you wrote. All right, I can't disagree with that part. It's still a little bit unhinged for having to check your bag.
There's kind of an implied threat there, too. Like, if he didn't tweet it out, he would get very angry. Yeah, you just
he'd have punched old cunt face.
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh, but wait. Somebody said, we know you're no rookie, Tom, and you know how to pack a bag. We're sorry for the hassle today. That's from American Air. And he says, this is psychological tactic that well-trained people across all businesses use because it's effective. They empathize with the customer's emotion. Typically, people feel seen and heard and immediately calm down after this acknowledgement. I still wish awful things on Gate Agent. Okay.
You're starting to get kind of on the borderline there.
Wait for it. We're not there yet.
Oh, God.
All the poors and losers have the same response. Oh, you were inconvenienced? Well, you should accept it. That's what me and my dumb, poor family have done for generations. This is why you're poor.
Wow. Wow. What a dick.
And he then goes on, the lowest level of poors get upset as they've been trained to do when you point out they're happy to do what I'm told, servant mentality. They don't value time because theirs is worthless. You are specks of shit on a washcloth, and washcloths belong in the trash.
What's this hatred of washcloths all about? I mean, that's
somebody
a
responded,
deep-rooted psychological issue with a washcloth.
Somebody responded, calling a service worker the C word while doing her job like you think she had options. She's just singularly in charge of checking bags. It's the callousness to humanity that bothers people. To which he writes, poor.
Wow. First of all, I've never heard of this guy, so he isn't that rich. I didn't know who he was till you described him. So I'm sorry that you're mildly inconvenienced because you're one of the elites, dude. But ragging on the poor people, probably not a good look. Because who do you think goes to your show?
Bro, you just sound poor.
I am poor. Give me money.
I saw
make
that
me
shit.
rich.
That is a weird meltdown. How do you go
it
from
deviates
Go
poverty
ahead.
shaming? That's bizarre.
Yeah, you start off with something that people could probably at least understand. Being aggravated that this woman's like, no, you got to check that bag. And from there, you're like, fuck the pores. Wow.
That shows a complete contempt for customer service workers. And look, some people, especially airlines, are complete dick bags. I will agree with you on that. That doesn't
I'm so
make
sorry.
her an evil person.
You are right. The picture I saw of him is not the right guy. It's not the machine guy. It's not the guy who is always half naked. I apologize. Thank you for pointing that out, Bubba. It's this guy, and I don't know if you've seen him before. He's actually really funny. But in it, I should have looked deeper. My mind made the connection because of his Facebook picture or his Twitter picture. That's on me. That's on me.
I've seen this guy before, and he looks like a smug douche. He actually looks kind of like a friend of mine. I'm gonna tell him about that. You look like this douche comedian.
I am so sorry that I got that wrong. That is my mistake. But yeah, that's who he is. Dude, I don't know why you hate poor people so much.
Yeah, elitist.
You know what it reminds me of? It reminds me of Kramer losing his mind and dropping the N-bomb over. I get what you're going for there. And I do think he was probably trying to be funny, but that's not how it comes off.
No, it comes off as smug and douchey.
Yeah. You're just the pores. Gentlemen, from one pore to another, here you go. Thank you so much, Rogue Thought. I appreciate it. Yes, we are the pores around here. So if you'd like to donate, please do so. Yeah, it just reminded me so much of what is his name? I forget his real name. But the guy who played Kramer on Seinfeld when he loses his mind. And look, again, yeah, that was a horrible look for him, but he was clearly trying to be funny.
Yeah, Michael
Richards.
Yeah, it's two first names. Yeah,
and it's the same with this guy. I think he's trying to be funny. It's just the way it comes off is fucking horrible. How about
he just comes off arrogant.
Yeah, I got a little frustrated and was venting. I didn't mean anything by it. Look, guys, I was just trying. This is how I vent, and that's what he kind of says in the second thing that we listened. But then people kept responding to him like, "Fuck you, poor people."
I'm kind of hung up on what his problem with washcloths are.
I want to know why he's wiping his ass with washcloths. I use toilet paper.
He's probably got a poop knife too. So,
is he so rich that he wipes his ass with towels and just throws them away?
That's what I got out of it.
What does your bathroom smell like, bro?
Probably poop. It smells like money because he's rich.
Jesus. There are people who do that, by the way. It's people, environmentalists who don't use toilet paper. They use rags and they save them and wash them.
Yeah, it's weird.
Yep. Who's the poor now, Tom? I can throw away my toilet paper and not have to buy towels all the time.
Yeah, that's why my toilet flushes.
Did you see Elon Musk call Alexandria Caballo, whatever her name is, batshit crazy?
No, I missed that one.
All right. For those of you who don't remember her, she is the Harvard professor who is a dude in drag and went up before the Congress, and Nancy Mace asked him, hey, do you think being mean online causes violence? And they went, yeah. And so Nancy Mace showed him a whole bunch of their mean tweets.
Yeah, I remember that. Yeah.
He's also the guy who tried to take back Groomer.
Okay. don't even know how to respond to that.
They had a picture of themselves. It was their profile picture for quite a while that was wearing a shirt that said "Take Back Groomer." And I don't know if it's still up on Twitter, but they had a whole post about how we need to take back the word groomer. No, you don't, because people were applying it to you because you come off talking about how kids need to be treated more like adults. I don't want to say specific things they said because I don't want to confuse it. And let's just say Alexandria comes off as a groomer a lot, including by saying
groomer.
Yeah, including by saying, "Let's take back groomer."
Jesus Christ.
So anyway, this tweet goes out. New scoop: evidence showing Elon Musk is a pedophile mounting quick. And then there's a link to Fortune magazine. And there was a note put on this saying, when you click on the attached link, the storyline is that Elon Musk will be deleting news headlines from articles shared on X, which, by the way, has already happened, and it's kind of weird. The articles are still there. You just don't see the headline. You only see what somebody writes in the tweet, and then there's a picture, and you click on the picture to go to the story.
Yeah, ironically, on mobile, it still shows the title or the headline of the story. So if you're using your phone, you're going to see it, but people on desktop won't.
So this person trying to be, I don't know if they're trying to be funny, but trying to get eyes on that Fortune magazine article about Musk doing this, calls him a pedophile.
That's a bold stance.
The same person then tweets out, "Hey, we need everybody to mark this community note as unhelpful because that'll make it go away, Jack." And Alejandra Caraballo, I don't know how you say that. I'm not Spanish. You could have made up an English name. But anyway, they retweeted it.
Oh.
They retweeted that out. And because of that, yeah, Elon Musk called her batshit crazy. Where's it at? Right there. That person is batshit crazy. Because she is. She absolutely is. Mostly because she thinks she's a she and she's a dude, and wants to take back groomer. Where is that? I'm so sorry for the delay, guys, where we keep talking over each other. I don't know why it's happening. Nothing. It's just my internet being shit tonight, Jack. I apologize.
No, it happens.
Where's the Hillary video?
Oh, I retweeted it if you need it.
Yeah, I think I just responded to you, right?
I think so.
Pretty sure that's what happened. Hillary Clinton is out there talking again because Satan exists. And she gives this interview where she says something kind of disturbing, really. Shit, I can't find it on my time. The Jack Cochran. I got to look you up. There you are.
Oh, here I am.
All right, so I don't know where this interview happened. It says it right there on the screen. It's CNN. I was listening to it, not watching it. So that's my bad.
I thought you meant
I'm not retarded.
Which ring of hell it was recorded in.
But Hillary Clinton speaks out on GOP chaos, Trump, and the 2024 race. All right. How long is this one? It's 50 seconds. The important part comes at the end, so I'm going to do my best to just shut up, Jack.
Okay.
Very strong partisans in both parties in the past. And we had very bitter battles over all kinds of things, gun control and climate change and the economy and taxes. But there wasn't this little tail of extremism wagging the dog of the Republican Party as it is today. Mm-hmm. And sadly, so many of those extremists, those MAGA extremists, take their marching orders from Donald Trump, who has no credibility left by any measure.
I do have to stop there to go, really? Really, Hillary? You're saying that out loud?
How's Haiti doing?
She doesn't know, but they pay well.
Yeah.
only in it for himself. He's now defending himself in civil actions and criminal actions. And when do they break with him? Because at some point, maybe there needs to be a formal deprogramming of the cult members, but something needs to happen.
And how do you?
A formal deprogramming of the cult members.
Yes, this ties into an article I want to talk about later.
Oh, cool.
Which
Which article is it? I'll pull it up.
I think it's the first one.
Okay.
I believe the term she's looking for is re-education.
Yeah, it kind of comes off like, hey, we need re-education camps.
Yeah.
Got to re-educate those deplorables, huh, Hillary?
Well, get them to thinking right, because they think wrong. I mean, incorrectly.
Look, we've talked about the extremists on both sides. I love that she meant there've been extremists on both sides before, but it's never wagged the dog. Like, sweetheart, when it came to your election in 2016, the primary, the wag the dog thing is on your side, where the extreme Bernie Sanders folks basically made you change your campaign promises and everything.
Then she fucked him out of the votes.
Yeah, we've never had this where an extremist group is. You guys have been accusing the religious right of doing that since before I was born. What are you talking about? Trying to frame it as though this is something new and that they have so much power. If you want to believe that Donald Trump is extreme, judging by the polls, that's not the tail wagging the dog. That's the dog. It's the majority of people. When you do the wag the dog thing, the tail wagging the dog, it's a small part that makes the whole dog shake. That they tail and they do that and it makes their whole body. The MAGA folks, the Trump supporters right now, at least according to every poll we see, they are the dog, bitch. But they just have to make it that Donald Trump is extreme and his supporters are extreme. He's closer to you than he is me politically, bitch. He's a New York Republican. He's a Democrat until 10 years ago?
Yeah, I think so.
He's got no credibility. I mean, I agree with you if you're talking about his liberal stances. But he's got to be extreme. What is the extreme part of Trump's message? Can anybody tell me? What is extreme?
America being a good place.
Yeah, that is extreme. That's horribly extreme. Seriously, I'd love to know the extreme part. He's actually, and this was when he gets the nomination, when he wins the election, he gets up there with an LGBT flag. That extreme fucker. He comes out and says that Caitlyn Jenner can poop in the girls' room at his hotels if she wants. Where's his extreme positions? The extreme position that we shouldn't have illegals just running free?
Oh, no. His extreme position was when he started singing more than words at karaoke night.
Saying I love you is not that song.
Yep.
I hated that song in high school, man. Every fucking asshole that could barely play guitar was in our hallways singing that shit.
Yep.
And I like the song. That's the bad part. It's a good song. But
it wasn't even laid. Of course you liked it.
It wasn't even overplayed on the radio, which it was. It was the hallways of high school. Anyhow. All right, to go to your article now, Jack. Exclusive: Donald Trump followers targeted by FBI as 2024 election nears. Can I just point out that this is from Newsweek? This is not from Gateway Pundit. This is Newsweek telling us this. Which, by the way, was at one time the entire magazine was bought for $1. I'm not talking a single issue. I mean the corporation.
Yes.
I like to remind people of that because Newsweek at one time was a decent magazine.
Yeah.
It was a good place to get caught up on what was going on politically. I subscribed to Newsweek for a while. And then it just went in completely lefty and nobody read it anymore. And so they literally sold the magazine for $1, which is funny as hell. Somebody just bought the name and good on them. I wish I had known at the time. I'd have bought the name for $1.
Well, yeah. I mean, why not?
It's a nice brand to have, actually, for people who follow politics and stuff.
Yeah.
Anyway, so the federal government believes that the threat of violence and major civil disturbances around the 2024 presidential election is so great that it has quietly created a new category of extremist that it seeks to track and counter. Donald Trump's army, his army, Jack. Donald
Totally
Trump's
not.
army of MAGA followers.
Totally not Dumbledore's army. No, don't. I don't know where you
No,
got
not
that
at all.
idea.
And this is why, I mean, I point out it's Newsweek, and they show you right there why I would point that out. They're still leftist propaganda.
Yeah.
Anyhow, the challenge for the FBI, the primary federal agency charged with law enforcement, is to pursue and prevent what it calls domestic terrorism without direct reference to political parties.
Right.
How do you do that when you're specifically going after Trump supporters?
Well, they're ultra mega extremists.
Without direct reference to political parties or affiliations, even though the vast majority of its current anti-government investigations are of Trump supporters, according to classified data obtained by Newsweek. Ooh, classified data?
Oopsie.
Shouldn't somebody be going to jail? I mean, Trump had some of that in the shitter and you guys were mad about it. As Newsweek, shouldn't you be going, oh my goodness, somebody gave us classified information, quick, arrest them? Remember, when it comes to the Trump thing and the documents down there, he showed those to somebody who was making a book about, he showed it to a reporter, and that was the worst thing ever.
Yeah.
See, he showed these documents. Yeah. Hey, Newsweek, how did you get classified information? Why is the FBI sharing classified information with journalistic? I can't even say that. Journalistic outlets.
I don't know, man. Because they leak like a sieve.
The FBI is in an almost impossible position, says a current FBI official who requested anonymity to discuss highly sensitive internal matters. You mean classified matters? The official said that the FBI is intent on stopping domestic terrorism and any repeat of January 6th attack on the Capitol. There's no reason to believe it's going to happen again. You guys are spending all your time. Go ahead.
Unless they're planning another one.
Here, just for the rest of the night, Jack, if I hear you speak, I will shut up so you can go.
Sorry.
No.
Doing it on purpose.
I know you're not. That's why, and just to keep from having dead air, if you start talking, just continue, and I'll pick up afterwards.
Okay.
Well, I feel like I'm cutting you off of points, and I don't mean to. So yeah, if you go to say something, just keep going. I will shut up.
All right.
Damn it! I just punched my microphone.
Stop punching your microphone. It didn't do anything wrong. It's gonna sue you because you're a baseball player.
It sent its friend a notice that it wanted to be choked out.
Yeah. You didn't say the safety word. Good night, Diggy. Also, we need to sing the Skep Talk tonight, too.
Oh, indeed. Thank you for reminding me. Before we get back to this stupid story, Skep Talk, my friend, it was his birthday yesterday. Turned 71 years old. Skep is a great guy. I've always enjoyed talking to him.
Yeah.
Skep, happy birthday, my friend. This one's for you. And a 1 and a 2. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday, dear
Skep Talk.
Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday, Skep. Hope you had a great one. Really do. And here's to many more, my friend. Really, really always been pleasant to talk to you.
Yeah, he's good people.
The problem with me and Skep Talk when we talk, it's sometimes like when me and Prospero get to talk, we can drone on a little bit.
No.
And it's a it's just a personality trait. Sometimes you got to tell people to shut up, and he doesn't tell me to shut up, and I don't tell him to shut up. So we just go on and on and on. But they're not boring conversations. So you guys should always check them out when we talk together. But anyway, going back to this, Jack, we're intent on stopping domestic terrorism as like January 6th. What about, from May through the end of 2020 from the left?
That was fiery, but mostly peaceful.
Alan, thanks so much for the donation with no message, my friend. I hope you're having a good day. They keep looking at the Trump supporters and like, we got to get them and stop them. And that's not to say there's none who aren't extreme, because there's crazies in every group, but they are the minority. All through 2020, we saw lefties just destroying shit and murdering people. And they're like, that's not a real big deal. Did you see this one day when the only people who got killed were the Trump supporters?
Hey, fact.
Did you see it? We got to stop. They moved a podium. They took a laptop like Hunter's. Did you see Hunter's actually suing? Hunter's suing Giuliani for hacking his laptop.
Yep. And at first, he was kind of pseudo trying to not admit it was his laptop, but still sue him at the same time.
Now he's suing them. That's not my laptop. By the way, you shouldn't hack my shit. Hunter, are you high again? Are you letting your lawyers in on your stash? Because you're going to lose that case.
Oh, absolutely. Oh, thank you, Alan, for the donation. Very generous of you. Morning, Jack. Good morning, Alan. Hope you're doing well.
By focusing on former President Trump and his MAGA supporters, the official said the Bureau runs the risk of provoking the very anti-government activists that the terrorism agency hopes to counter. No, by focusing on Trump and his MAGA supporters, you are proving that you're using government resources to attack political rivals.
Mm-hmm.
Especially at a time when the White House is facing congressional Republican opposition claiming that the Biden administration has weaponized the Bureau against the right wing, it has to tread carefully, says the official. Because you're proving them right?
Yes, absolutely.
Remember, this is a classified document they got their hands on. Newsweek spoke to over a dozen current and former government officials who specialize in terrorism in a 3-month investigation to understand the current domestic security landscape. Excuse me, so sorry. And to evaluate what President Joe Biden's administration is doing about what it calls domestic terrorism. Most requested anonymity because they're fucking shitbags, because they're not authorized to speak publicly. We're reluctant to stray into partisan politics or feared repercussions. I'm not even trying to say that word again. Newsweek has also reviewed secret FBI and Department of Homeland Security data that... Why are you getting information like this?
Hey, if they're giving it up, of course the journalists are going to take it.
Yeah, no, you're right. I understand that. But these are the people who were so desperately worried that Donald Trump had papers in the shitter. Data that tracks incidents, threats, investigations, and cases to try to build a better picture. While experts agree that the current partisan environment is charged and uniquely dangerous. Do you guys... I want to give you guys a number, okay? 1860. Look it up. Uniquely dangerous. Shit like this has never happened before. Well, yeah. The Weather Underground was out there blowing people up. It's uniquely dangerous. This is the kind of propaganda bullshit we talk about, Jack.
Oh, absolutely. Yeah, they ignore Antifa and they go after people that walk around, and handful of people actually fighting with the cops.
They ignore history. They ignore everything just to sell the picture that anybody who supports Donald Trump is a fucking loon.
Yep.
Most people who support Trump are just your average, everyday person. Most of the people who were at January 6th were just average, everyday people.
Average, everyday terrorists.
Look, man, do you know the kind of damage that's done to the wax job when somebody moves a podium?
I know, right? Like, I've seen way more violent football game riots.
Sure. They trash whole cities. I mean, God forbid Philadelphia win anything. That city just gets burned to the ground every time.
Yeah, if they think this was an actual insurrection, football hooligans will run riot over them. Dear
Oh, God,
God. Fucking idiots.
You see, Gates said Trump could come testify and they can give him immunity. Oh, that would be an interesting way to do things.
That'd be
An
fun.
in run around. It still wouldn't matter in the state courts, but it could on the federal level at least. We haven't talked much about that case that's going on right now in New York, where Trump was found liable for fraud.
Yeah. So stupid.
It is such a weird case that's going on. So Letiti, damn you, AP. Letiti,
I do it all the time too.
Letiti James up there in New York, she's suing Donald Trump for fraud, saying that he used inflated numbers to get better loans and insurance rates, which I'm not really sure how you get better insurance rates with a more expensive property.
Yeah, I was wondering that too.
As somebody who's been a licensed insurance agent before, that does not make any sense to me.
I don't think it makes sense to anybody.
So that is the claim, and the judge, all by himself, because there is no jury, and they say he didn't get a jury trial because his lawyers didn't request it. His lawyers said there was no mechanism for requesting it. I don't know which one is true, but he doesn't get a jury trial, and the judge just says, you are guilty of doing this stuff. But there's still other parts of it that have to be litigated out. That's why they're having the trial right now. This is also where the judge comes out and threw out, or at the time when the judge throws out 80% of the Bragg case. There's a lot of really interesting stuff going on, Jack, including Donald Trump dropping his case against Michael Cohen. Now, Trump was suing Michael Cohen for, I believe, defamation. And he came out, I think yesterday, he drops the case. Now, I saw this because of a Krasenstein, Jack.
Oh, so your information was wrong at the time. So you had to go look up the real facts.
Well, it was, at the very least, it was presented in a horrible way. Ed Krasenstein, I believe, is the one who said it. He says, why would Trump drop this case if he really ever had a case? Just want to remind you that Ed Krasenstein and his brother settled a case with the government for $450,000 that they claim they did nothing wrong in.
Right.
Which by his own logic here, Jack, proves he was guilty because he settled.
Yes.
He didn't fight it. All right, let's talk about what really happened. Donald Trump did drop the case, Jack. He dropped it without prejudice, meaning he can bring it again.
Yep.
The reason he dropped it is because he has a campaign event on Monday, and they had asked the judge, hey, can we do the deposition because Donald Trump needs to be deposed? Can we do the deposition on Sunday? And the judge said, no, it has to be Monday. And so we can't do it then. So they dropped the case, and they're planning to bring it later. That's what really happened. So when you see people out there going, he dropped the case because Michael Cohen is a good man, you know, the fucking admitted felon, he's a good man. No, they did it because the judge wouldn't move the date of the deposition. That's what happened.
Yeah.
He literally wanted to be deposed a day earlier. He's running from it. He wanted to do it a day earlier. I hate these lying bastards.
Yeah. Also, with the one case where about 80% of it was tossed, the judge didn't do that willingly. They had to go to the appellate division to get the judge reversed because the judge said, no, it can all stay in despite the statute of limitations having expired. So they went to the appellate division and they upheld the statute of limitations. And that's important because a lot of these judges seem to really have it out for Trump.
Well, in that case, the way that Alvin Bragg was trying to get around that is he was trying to say it was a continuing thing that was going on.
Yeah.
It's one of those places where they used creative legal arguments that the press were patting him on the back for doing, and we were like, you can't do this. Turns out, once again, Jack, we were right.
Yeah, but I'm actually surprised they did just go along with it and be like, get out of here, because the system's corrupt and broken.
But the statute of limitations has to matter. Otherwise, why have them?
Well, don't give them ideas, is what I would say to that.
Well, I mean, like, because of Me Too, a lot of statutes of limitations were drastically changed. You can change the statute if you want. What you can't do is punish somebody for something that you think they did wrong past the existing statute of limitations.
Well, I agree with you, but I think if a lot of these commies were in charge, there would be no double jeopardy. There would be no statute of limitations. They'd just be able to go after you for whatever they wanted.
Yeah, fair enough.
Look at Italy with Amanda Knox. They tried her 3 times and wanted to do a 4th one because they didn't get the verdicts they wanted.
Yeah, those weren't even like hung juries. Those were like not guilty.
Yeah, there was one guilty, and then it got overturned. Then they tried it again, and they lost, and then they wanted to try it again. So yeah, fuck that. That's why we have double jeopardy, because King George used to do that shit too.
Yeah. Bubba says, I hear your point, and I counter with Orange Man.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. That is the Trump card, literally.
That is a good point that we had not quite taken into account.
Yeah. Orange Man is bad. It's just the way the game is played.
New York already did that last year. They allowed sex-based allegations to go to trial regardless of statute of limitations. Yeah, and I think a lot of that shit's going to get overturned as it moves up. Even the ones where they're like, okay, we've moved the statute of limitations back, so now we can get you for it. I would say that goes against constitutional law.
Yeah, I would agree, but we'll see.
It's to me, it's similar like saying, okay, you poked a badger with a spoon. It's not illegal when you did it, but now it's illegal to poke a badger with a spoon. If you committed the crime before it became a crime, they're not supposed to be able to charge you with it. You poked the badger with a spoon before it was illegal to do it, then it wasn't illegal. You can't charge them for it now that you've made it illegal. That's how it should be, and that to me is how moving the statute of limitations back. It seems like a dirty way to get around something like that.
Yeah, it's absolutely a way to get around it.
But Jack, we're 2 hours in. I don't know if I'm gonna do a game stream. I need to go to bed. I have a long drive today, and I really should just try to go back to sleep for a little while. I don't like being in the car that long, Jack.
That's understandable.
But I would like this eye looked at to see if they can fix it at all. Because, look, if it's like this forever, I can deal with it as long as it doesn't get worse. But if they can fix it, I'd really, really, really like to have my eyesight back.
I want to be able to see, blah, blah, blah.
If I close my right eye and look at the screen, I can tell we both have avatars, and I can kind of make them out. But I can't read your name on the screen. Yeah, that needs fixed.
You're not missing much. You already know who I am.
It's I got to get that fixed. Yeah, I think I'm gonna go try to take a nap before our big outing today.
You got a big day. You'll be all tuckered out if you don't go to sleep.
Yeah. Either way, I'm planning is when we get back to probably take a nap, just because it takes a lot out of me to go on trips like this.
Oh yeah.
But ladies and gentlemen, thanks for coming and hanging out with us. Thank you for the donations. You guys are so kind to us. We really do appreciate it. Don't forget to tell your friends, your family, that bitch you hate to come watch. And please hit the like button on your way out. Jack, anything you want to show?
I'll drop a link to a new video. As always, thank you so much for the tips. It really does help because we're poor. And we love seeing you guys in chat. Thanks for coming out, everybody. Hope you're all doing well. And yeah, stay awesome.
Matt put a pirate or a parrot emoji there in chat, and it says for Pirate Monkey. If I lose this eye completely, maybe I'll get a parrot that can only speak in swear words and have them in the room and be like, I can't help it. It's an animal. I didn't do it. Thanks for hanging out with us, Jack. A pleasure as always, my friend.
I'm always glad to be here.
Everybody have a one. You know, I got to wait just a little bit because we're almost exactly at 2 hours. We're at 1:59:22. Okay, now I can sing. Everybody have a wonderful night. Take care of yourselves, and we'll see y'all next time.
Bye, everybody.
I have to drag this song out for about 30 seconds. I'm not really that creative, so this is going to be really bad. Shit, there's still 20 seconds. I'm going to sing a little bit longer to try to hit the number. Everybody take care. Come on, fucking get to 2 hours.
Don't hug
And the
bears.